Not to be confused with Squatch, which is when a Sasquatch comes in and touches all your makeup and then leaves.
Show and Sell.
Hello and welcome to Show and Sell, the show that celebrates digging through other people's trash.
I can't.
Hello, Trash Dragons. My name is Chris, Trash Dragon of the Week, West. Not of the week, of the West.
And of the week.
Yes, thank
Surprise.
you. And this is my guitar, Mr. Blankenship.
I'm Mr. Blankenship.
I'm Mr. Blankenship.
He says hello back, says that you should like, share, and subscribe, and reminded me that I sell on eBay and Discogs, mostly medium.
And I'm Katie, and I'm Trash Dragon of the South, and I sell mostly clothing and accessories, but I'm always on the hunt for anything sparkly, unique, and spooky.
Ah!
So I don't know what I was going to say, but spooky came out.
Spooky. The least spooky way to say it. I don't know.
There you have it.
You're going to haunted house, see? It's
Yeah, it's spooky, see?
spooky, see?
Hello, I'm Sammy Davis Jr. Welcome to Spooky. Welcome to Sammy Davis Jr.'s Spook House. We got a lot of scares today.
Ghosts and goblins.
And I'm Joe. I'm the Trash Dragon of the East, and I like a little bit of everything. And if there's a lot of something, I definitely want that. So I have a question. Does anybody have anything, any updates they'd like to share?
Okay.
Ha-ha! What do you think about that, Chris?
I don't much care for it. That's my only job, asking people for their updates, and you stole it. Oh no!
Hello.
She's got an update.
Yeah.
Ulysses, do you want to tell them? Ulysses snuck into the garage and got in a scuffle with one of the outside cats.
Ooh.
Outside cats meaning stray cats that do not belong to me, that I feed. That's her update. It's fine. She got to see the garage and she was very excited and then very not excited.
and then in a fight.
Yeah.
It
was great face.
That's every Saturday night now. Here's a little catnip and go into the garage and have a wild evening.
Everybody's
that's all right for fighting. That's what I've heard. So,
everybody's throwing down money, betting on the cat outcome.
Oh no, Ulysses too small for that. Well, maybe she's the underdog. I don't know. We'll see.
That's where you can really rig some money, get some money going if you train Ulysses in Cat McGraw. Good McGraw.
There you go.
Cat McGraw.
She is wily. I mean, she got away quick. She did. I mean, it could have been so much worse. We got really lucky. That cat was twice her size. But
so, unless you guys got something else, we're going to move on to the thing that brought us joy.
The thing that brought you joy.
All right, the thing that brought us joy. Who would like to go first this week?
I'll go.
Oh no, Katie, you go.
Yeah.
Oh no! Please, Joe. You never go first.
I got a couple. I got a couple. I got a few of things I want to throw out there.
Okay.
First of all, it's summer, and I'm sporting this T-shirt from the band Oneida, and I have been listening. I've been really getting into Oneida again, and I've really been loving their song "To Seed and Flower," which is 1 minute and 20 seconds of just. It just makes me very happy to listen to, and it's just like it's a fun, as opposed to their 15-minute one-note song, "Sheets of Easter."
Light?
Oh no!
That's Sheets of Easter. Yeah.
Yeah, Sheets of Easter. You've got to look into the light. 15 minutes. It's great. This is only 1 minute 20, and it's a really upbeat, joyous song. That's the first thing. The second thing that brought me joy is I bought some stuff from a woman who is in. She's in the area. She was referred to me by the auction house I work for, and she's just like downsizing. She's not moving really. She's 97 years old. She still lives independently. She has a nurse come check up on her. She has people checking in on her regularly. I'm going to go back again at some point because there was stuff that she had been throwing out or was going to throw out that I was just like, what are you talking about? One of which was a lamp made of a beaver chewed log, and I was
What?
like, yeah, it was like her husband had found this beaver chewed log across the road, went in with a chainsaw, cut it off, and turned it into a lamp. But anyway, and so that was one thing. So I also got a bunch of other stuff from her, including some clothes she had in the attic, and I was told like, "Oh, she's got some vintage clothes." Like I was like, "Yeah, whatever." But it included this almost completely unworn and amazing, like wool, like 1970s, like I don't even know what it is. It's like a vest, shawl, smocks thing. Tunic.
Or no, it's a vest. It opens. It's open in the middle.
Yeah.
Who makes that? Is that handmade?
It is. It says full fashioned hand loomed import, made in Taiwan, but nonetheless, it's just like it's not like it is such. They're not making this stuff anymore.
No, it's very cool.
Oh my god, it's so great. So yeah, this, and then I also had this cool like plaid, like dress, like long. It's a dress. I mean, it's not, And then there's also, lastly, this beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Sleeveless, like I think this is handmade sleeveless, dress. Just
Is
very
that like crepe?
It's not crepe. It's like linen.
Wow.
So yeah, so that was really neat, and so this is like I got some. So that was a really fun find.
Yeah,
and it's hard to compete with that. Except this is I'm letting you get in on the bottom floor of this because you're the first people I'm showing this to. Okay, so I went to the dump the other day. I'm away.
How many of Joe's stories sound? So I went to the dump.
So I went to the dump. There's a guy I chat up on occasion. I don't think I don't know if he remembers me from time to time. He probably does because But anyway, we just.
You have a dump friend?
I have a dump friend.
That's a good friend.
Dump buddy.
But I was like, they have their regular metal recycling, which is like your cans and your aluminum and whatever, your like aluminum pans, and then they have like the recycling that you take to them, that they take to like the metal recycling place and sell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, all right. But you'll see all kinds of stuff that's like sort of dumped off there. And here's what I found dumped off there on Tuesday. Oh! Damn, blast it.
A KitchenAid.
A KitchenAid mixer.
The mixer.
That is insane.
A KitchenAid stand mixer, and I don't know. So what we're gonna do right now? Uh-oh.
Does it work?
We're gonna find out.
Plugged in?
Is it plugged in? That's a good question.
Great
Oh,
question.
Joe.
Well, rats, it doesn't work. So we have found out that this is a non-functional KitchenAid mixer, but I'm gonna look into it and see if I can like play around with it this weekend while I'm sitting there waiting for people to show up.
Yeah, get your solder gun out and just see what happens.
Well, I mean, it could just be like something very simple, like the switch is kind of broken, and you could get a replacement and like swap it out. Like a lot of some electronic stuff requires a soldering iron, and some just requires like you unplug something and plug something else in. So we'll find out.
Literally what YouTube was made for.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't figure out my vacuum had sort of stopped working, a little handheld whatever. It turns out I needed a new battery because they go bad after 3 years. Got a new battery for $20, brand new. So like YouTube is the place. There will be people that have had all sorts of problems with those mixers especially, and it's probably just like, make sure this cord is still doing this. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's going to be easy. Yay. That is such a find. Now you just need the bowl, which you could probably grab on eBay.
Yeah. And the mixing paddles.
And the paddles. Yeah, that's right.
Are you kidding? It came with all of it.
Oh
wow.
my gosh, Joe.
So it's got like the dough hook,
Those are hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, like $300 at least.
Yeah.
And they're great. They're like worth the money. Like
they are. And like on sale, even like at the holidays, I would say they never go below $250. They're just that thing, People want them, and so they just kind of don't put them on sale.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really excited. I'm just like, I
Such a
hopefully,
good find.
yeah, I'm like, I mean, and it was free. The guy and my dumb friend,
Love that.
there's a sign out front that says no picking, but my dumb friend turns a blind eye when I do pick.
Katie, why don't you go?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm pulling a bunch of stuff for the garage sale, or I'm trying to, of which my mom tells me furniture is preferable. Furniture is like the thing that goes. And so I'm trying to get furniture. Obviously, I have some clothes, not as many clothes as you would think. You would think I'd have a lot more. The problem is all my clothes are kind of sectioned, right? So if it's something that's going to like a Goodwill, it has a hole or something. There's something irreparable. So I don't have a lot of that like garage sale level clothing, which is a problem.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I do have a lot of like wigs. I have a lot of wigs and costumes. And I'm like, that might be fun. If there's kids that play dress up and stuff, I have kind of a lot of that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed. But the other thing I have is I have a bunch of curtains. I tend to buy curtains when they're, when I see them, especially I used to see them at the bins in LA a lot. You could find really good sets and then clean them. And curtains are kind of more expensive than you think for nice ones. And I really like velvet curtains. I also have a cat that pees. So like it's a constant replenish. These I found during, I don't remember when I found them, but I found them on a resale site online and they're British flags. And so these are my favorite and I'll never sell them, but they bring me joy. Yeah.
Nice.
They're just a huge.
Oi.
That is huge. My God.
Yeah, they're really good. So there's 2 Union Jacks and they're 80 length. They're good and they're shears, which is kind of fun. I would prefer if they were like heavy. I would prefer them to be almost flag material.
Yeah.
This is the best I could do. I have a Union Jack search saved on almost every site because it is something that I commonly search for because I would like a couch. I would like certain things. So I look for them all the time. But yeah, that was a good find. And I like them and they will not be going at the garage sale. So don't show up and ask for those curtains. What's your item of joy, Chris?
I got something. So I picked this up used. This is an LP and I picked it. I've never heard the album, but I know the talent behind it. So I was just like, all right. And it's awesome. It's Pete and Sheila Escovando.
Look at them. Look at those two.
So if you don't know, that is the famed drummer Sheila E. Prince's drummer, who was a child drumming prodigy who played with her dad, Pete, who was in like Satana's band and Aztec. So she was like started recording records with her dad when she was like 12. And
wow.
So she's probably like around 18 here. This is 1977. Like probably like very young. And like I recorded, we did an episode of the drum podcast I used to work on with Joe Wong. And that was like his big get was getting Sheila E. He was such a huge fan. You know, one of the things she talks about, she's like, when I met Prince, like he was a fan of me, like because he had heard my records. And when you hear the records, you're like, holy crap. Like she was just amazing.
Who can
like
say that?
Off the grade. Yeah, exactly. She was just like, and he was just like, yeah, what? Like, I think they just met backstage somewhere and then they developed a relationship and he was just like, you should be my band leader. And then she became his band leader.
Sheesh.
It's a good morning jam album to have on, like to start your morning too.
Good find.
So that is my record, or my item of joy. And both. Literally both. So we're going to move on to our next segment, Unearthed Treasure.
Unearthed Treasure.
All right, Unearthed Treasure. The topic is yellow.
Yellow.
It could be anything. It could be a sign of cowardice, even.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
I think that's pronounced yeller.
Yeller. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tennessee
yellow.
It is. Yes.
Yes.
And here is my item. This is just a This is like a lot of it is just like the texture of this candle. Like
it's like those old Italian restaurant candles.
Oh,
I love
nice.
those.
Yeah, I can't remember how I got this, but I think someone just gave this to me, and I was just like, "Oh, I like it." It also feels it has like a 1970s vibe, just like
It's
color.
totally the 70s. Gino's, the Italian restaurant where I grew up, had those.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, "Ooh, I love this," and I don't like.
Those.
I mean, I put a little tea candle in there, but
Yeah.
it's mainly just out to kind of give my area a bit of vibe, and
it's perfect with your vibe.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I love those candles. That's like instant nostalgia. Those are great.
I didn't like that was interesting because I knew them from somewhere, but I couldn't place where. I'm like, okay, these remind me of something, and I was just like, and then
old restaurants, old cloth tabletops, and those napkins. Yep.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
it's like kind of fancy, but it's the menu's dated. Yeah, that.
Yeah, where they're fancy enough for candles, not fancy enough for a new chef.
It's like a Billy Joel song in an item.
So I think Joe went last time. Katie, why don't you go?
Yeah. Okay, so Joe said, I'm trying to find something yellow in a text message, and Joe said the sun. Yeah, I've got the sun. Okay, I don't think I've shown this before, but it is probably my favorite mirror in my house.
Oh wow!
I love those.
Yeah,
nice.
Is that metal or is it plastic?
No, it's plastic. It's that hard plastic, but it's old, so it's not like a new one. The mirror's kind of crazy.
I love those so much. I have two of them on my wall, like, but the small versions of those, like mine are like that big. I love
these. Yeah, me too. So this one was not gold. I made it gold. So this was like sort of a dark, I don't know, like a faded, I want to say like a black. Like it was just sort of tarnished and not great. And so I made it gold because obviously something that's a Starburst should be gold.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it is the thing that I pack the most careful, and if I can, it's in a car. That mirror. Yeah. And I have a lot of mirrors. But that one is I don't want it to break because I won't be able to replace it at that size. Like I've seen them, but they're pricey and they're metal usually. So I got really lucky on this one. And this one I think I found, I want to say at the Goodwill on Fairfax in Los Angeles.
So Joe, why don't you go?
Okay. Well, my thing is I've had this for a while, and it is I can't even remember where I can't remember where I got this, and I don't know if it's ever going. I have it on eBay. It's been on eBay for a few years, and I don't know if it's ever going to sell. But the thing is, like, it's still such an interesting and unique piece. I'm gonna have to. I didn't have enough. There's no way to gracefully keep it close by, so I'm going to have to lean over. Oh, wait, here we go. I can do it this way. There.
Graceful.
This is a giant poster from the New York Public Library. It's a tribute to Edwin Denby. There was an Edwin Denby who was if I'm not mistaken, he was a critic for the New York Times, but I realized that I was uncertain. Like I did the research before, and then I realized immediately prior to recording, it's like I don't remember any of the details about this, and so I went to look him up, and I found out there was an Edwin Denby. There was also a Secretary of the Navy who died in 1920, and I don't think that was the same one. So anyway, that is the most yellow thing I have. A giant yellow, which is an interesting choice because a white and yellow poster is very hard to read.
All right, I think we did Under the Treasure. What do we got next, Joe?
It's a little jeez.
Out of practice.
It's a little segment I like to call Tales from the Flipped.
Tales from the Flipped. Tales from the Flipped.
Tales from the Flipped. We are back, and the question this week is, what's your weirdest customer complaint? and I haven't gone yet first, so I will do that. I'm trying to think. Like I might have talked about this before, but there's two that I'm thinking of. One, this happened recently. Someone bought a for your consideration copy of the Orville, the TV show, the Seth MacFarlane show, and they got it, and they're just like, "Hey, this was my first FYC DVD that I was going to make of my collection, and it's got mold on it, and it's like I'm really disappointed. I'm returning it." I'm like, "Okay, I get it back." Nothing he said was true. Like there was no like the CD was perfectly clean. The case was there was like little dots, but that was part of the artwork. And like all the things that he pointed out as like mold were like just part of the box art. So I was just like, the one I remember the most is like an early one. I sold a copy of Grand Royal magazine, the Beastie Boys magazine that they put out in the 90s. And I had a couple of them. This woman bought one in San Francisco. She bought it. I put it in the mail that morning. Went out that morning, and the next day she was just like, "Where's my magazine?" And I'm just like, I put it in the mail yesterday, and every day she wrote, like basically complaining that she hadn't gotten her magazine yet, and it took like 5 days to go. Like that's a long time to go from LA to San Francisco, even through media mail. Granted, but every day it was like, "Where is this? Where is this?"
Oh my God.
And she was just like, "This is the definition of snail mail," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's what that's like snail mail is what they call this."
Yeah.
And I think it was also the first person I blocked. On eBay from my store again, because I was just like, that is insane. Just the amount of harassment per every item. It was just like, but who would like to go next? Joe, I think, is probably.
Well, I had one guy that was asking me about posters. I had all these posters from Bantam Galleries. It was like the Bantam publishing house. They had a graphics. Basically, they would just sell posters in the mid 70s to early 80s, and they had two by the artist Brian Froud. Like Proud. He did the art for Fairies, and he also did the character design for the Dark Crystal. One of the posters was a very Dark Crystal image. The other one was was a fairies image, and it was like I got a stack of them. There were a decent number of them, and this guy was asking me. He just was like, "Oh, I love these so much." It was like, "Oh, how much do you want for all of them?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know." So I threw him out an offer, and then he's like, "Well, how much would it cost to ship?" I was like, "Well," I looked it up because I was like, I was not going to take 20 posters and roll them up in a tube, because that would have just been they would have been, it would have been, number one, nearly impossible to roll that many posters up in a tube. Number two, when I did, some of them would be so so coiled that they'd never relax. So I looked up how much it would cost to sell a 20 by 24, 5-pound box, and I told him, and he's like, "Well, then he just started being abusive and outrageous." He's like, "That's outrageous. You get just like," and I said, and then I just basically reported him to eBay because he was just being a complete and utter turd. And I was just like, and then I blocked.
Weird.
Yeah.
I might have just said, "Well, sir, if you can find me a cheaper way to mail this to you, here are the dimensions, here are the things. Tell me how to mail this to you in a price that you like. Just put it in their court.
Right.
This is the best I can figure out. If you know a better way, if you can figure out a better way to ship this to you that isn't illegal or a lot of trouble for me, great."
Yeah. I mean, in the end, I'm glad I didn't give them to him, because I ate out for a while on those posters. They sold for like $40 a piece, and I had 20 or so, 20 plus of each. So
yeah.
So it was like it worked out great for me in the long run.
Yeah.
But at the time, it caused me a lot of stress. The other one was like a small negative feedback thing where a guy bought a wallet and then just left negative feedback saying wallet too small for IDs or whatever. And I'm like, that's not my fault. Don't like I didn't I guess I didn't think to include dimensions of the wallet because I was like, it's a wallet, you put it in your pocket. That's what it's, so yeah.
I think I got a thing where it's just like they didn't like the music on the CD. They're just like,
Oh my
this isn't a
gosh.
good record. I'm like,
No. That's
Sorry.
terrible.
sorry. Katie.
I don't really have any like that stand out in my head. I had one that happened with makeup, which makeup you have to be very, very clear if you're selling makeup. Just the condition of whatever it is, especially because some things are not safe to use anymore. So you want to say this is a collector's item because people do collect certain brands of makeup, vintage palettes, things like that. But I was selling a brand new, and I knew it was brand new because I had bought it new and I had never opened it. And the person was trying to say that it was swatched, as they call it, which means you touched all the eyeshadows. And I'm like, no, it's never been unsealed. So thank you.
That was swatched. That was factory swatched, ma'am.
It was not to be confused with squatch, which is when a Sasquatch comes in and touches all your makeup and then leaves. That's
because they're just like a little bit of this, a little bit of
extra
this.
sass.
Yeah, for RuPaul's Squatch race.
That's for the sassy Sasquatches, but most of them are in Canada.
Yeah,
the ones here in the US are not that sassy.
Yeah,
they're not nice. Yeah,
I do want to do RuPaul's cat race, where just like you just glam up a bunch of cats, and then just.
You make them lip sync against each other. They have to they have to compete.
Exactly.
That's cruel. That's cruel to those cats.
Yeah,
and those queens.
But it's very pleasant for the viewers.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
But guys, I suspect we might have done it. What do you guys think? Is this an A+++ for
it sure is.
We made it. We did it again.
Yay!
We did it.
Yay!
So let's play that song that everyone craves hearing at the end of the episode.
Yes, they do.
Thank you for watching Show and Sell. If you remember, hit like, share, subscribe. But if you don't, everything is gonna be alright. If you think things are gonna be a little brighter for us, there's an algorithm controlling all of our lives. Thank you for watching Show and Tell. If you remember, ring the bell.
Hey!
All right, thank you, everybody.
Hey, thanks for coming, everybody.